Friday Night Smackdown, player. We have got a decent ending to this show, but what did the rest have in store for us? We had jobber Money in the Bank matches such as these ones on your screen right now, and we also had title unifications. But anyway, let's see what happened. We kick off the show with Solo Sikoa and Jimmy. I said Jimmy Uso. We've got Paul Heyman in the ring, and Jey Uso is called out. Basically, Paul Heyman says, Jimmy, knew you were being groomed as the tribal chief this whole time. The new tribal chief after Roman Reigns. By Roman Reigns. That's why he's got this hatred for you. Was Jey Uso buying it? Paul Heyman basically gives him a dilemma here, says an ultimatum, you've got to choose. And then he's like, you've also got a singles title match tonight versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship, to which Jey Uso says he accepts, but he has to wait a wee bit longer on the other decision. We then have Mustafa Ali and Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar defeats Mustafa Ali here, and it really begs the question, like, what are they doing? Because, like, Mustafa... Well, I mean, I'm actually glad Santos Escobar won, but it's so weird that on NXT they're pushing Mustafa Ali like he's fucking Brock Lesnar, but anytime in the main roster the guy's getting jobbed out. Oh, boy, but his match against Gunther. Yes, they were just pushing him for Saudi Arabia, folks. They need to start greeting, but you know what? I'm glad that Santos Escobar has advanced here to the Money in the Bank ladder match, but you know what? I don't think it's going to... I mean, the Money in the Bank ladder match this year looks the worst it's ever been, personally, in my own opinion. But yeah, that's it, guys, though, for that match. And next up, we move on. What have we got up next? It's Friday Night Smackdown, player, and we have got the mighty Jey Uso backstage with Sami Zayn telling him that he has to make his own mind up. The bloodline, they're not as cool as they seem. Jey, come on, Roman Reigns, man, they only use you. You need to fight for yourself. Give him a wee pep talk here. It's just weird, though, how, like, this whole bloodline storyline is actually panning out. It kind of just seems like that... Like, Sami Zayn betrayed them because he didn't want to hit Owens, and then he attacked Reigns. So then the Usos and Solo Sikoa battered them. But, like, always in backstage segments, it looks like Sami Zayn and Jey Uso are, like, best of friends. I don't know. Just seems a wee bit weird to me, but you know what? What's going to happen with Bloodline? I am genuinely intrigued to see what's going to happen, to be honest, but who knows? Because WWE changed their thoughts on the drop of a dime, if we're being perfectly honest. But as we cut through to the next match, I believe it's another Money in the Bank qualifier. Oh no, it isn't. It isn't. Oh God. It's not. It's Ronda Rousey and Baszler challenging Alba Fire and Dawn to unify the tag titles, which we kind of thought would happen, because just due to the simple fact is it makes like zero sense that they've got these belts, in my opinion, on SmackDown. You thought they would have kept them on NXT, but now it kind of seems like they're just doing away with these women's belts on NXT, which I think's fair enough. I don't think NXT needs a tag women belts, to be perfectly honest. So you know what, this is the right decision. It's an alright segment. I'm not a fan of like any of them. I don't mind Rousey like 5 years ago, but it's 2023 and Rousey teaming up with Shayna Baszler is not exactly what I asked for. But up next we do have Charlotte Flair returning, and let's take it away because Son of Scotland 90, the other half of Folk Wrestling, wants a wee word with Charlotte Flair, baby.
The witch has returned to the WWE. So Asuka gets the new title. Asuka is the new WWE champion. You've got Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce. I mean, this belt belongs in the scrap, so hopefully he can throw it in there. He puts the belt on Asuka, and then Charlotte Flair's music plays, and it's like, are we even surprised? I mean, Charlotte Flair is a fucking joke. And she comes out, Adam Pearce tells her she needs to get in line, and she says, I don't wait in line, I am the line, or I created the line, or some garbage like that. She probably didn't create the line because she's created nothing. There's nothing original, organic about Charlotte Flair. She steals everything, so I doubt she created any fucking line. Actually, I'm pretty sure Finn Balor said the line starts behind me, so Finn Balor probably created the bloody line for all we know. But anyway, Charlotte Flair now is getting the title shot, and it's like, this is all she does. She returns to WWE, she takes over whoever's the champion, she ends her reign, then she goes on a boring reign of her own, she loses the belt, she adds another number to her title wins to put her up a notch and get her closer to Ric Flair's 16-time record, and then she disappears again. It's Charlotte Flair. Rinse and repeat. We've seen it. I'm sick of seeing it. Fuck Charlotte. Fuck this return. I'm not even a big Asuka fan, I'm not, but Jesus Christ, I am praying to God that Asuka beats Charlotte Flair, but I don't see it. I think they'll probably do Asuka dirty. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte Flair wins this and makes it, what, 15-time champion? It's an absolute joke. I mean, who likes Charlotte Flair? Look at her coming out looking like a 60-year-old, 65, 70-year-old plastic. Fuck! Don't have the words to describe it, man. You know what? I think I did 10 reasons why Charlotte Flair sucks. I need to do another video. 20 reasons, 25 reasons, 100 reasons. 100 reasons because she looks 100 years old. Like, she looks ugly as fuck, man. What is it with all these ugly women? I mean, yeah, Asuka actually is a little bit older, so I don't mind if she looks like a Japanese grandma, but no, Charlotte is just plastic. I wish she would just throw herself in the furnace and melt or something, because I don't want to see her on my screen anymore. I am sick of Charlotte Flair. I mean, we talk about like second generation stars and people that are related to people that, you know, haven't lived up to expectations. Has there been anybody worse in wrestling who's like been worse than their dad or worse than their brother? I can't think of two people in wrestling that were related, that there was a bigger gap in like quality, a bigger gap in star power, a bigger gap in greatness between Ric Flair and his daughter Charlotte Flair. And you know what? That delusional old man, he'll continue to talk about how Charlotte's the best thing going. No one fucking likes Charlotte. We all hate Charlotte. We don't give a shit about Charlotte. And now we're getting Charlotte versus Asuka. When it looked like we were getting Asuka versus Io Sky, at least that would have been fresh. At least that would have been different. But no, Charlotte Flair returns. She's getting a title shot out of the blue. I mean, and for what? Why has this even happened? How can this be just? I mean, I just don't get it, guys. I'll probably talk about it more in the review, but yeah, no, fuck this shit. The belt looks ugly. Charlotte Flair looks ugly. We don't want to see a 15-time title reign from Charlotte Flair. We've seen enough of Charlotte Flair. You know what? All these women need to go. I'm sorry, Asuka. Look, give her one last run. Fair enough, she's got the belt. Give her this big run that she's never really had in WWE before. And then you've got to go. Like, we can't have these women that are pushing 40. I mean, and they want to take time off, go and have kids or whatever, then come back every 6... Fuck that. We've got a load of hot women in NXT. We need to start pushing them. There's no reason for Charlotte Flair still to be on my TV screen, guys, in 2023. Not happening. Anyway, pissed off. Hopefully, Asuka wins this. Why it's not happening at a pay-per-view, I don't know. They must be trying to do something at SmackDown. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to improve the rate. I don't know. I don't really care. It's not, Charlotte Flair better not win. She better not win, guys, or I will delete the Fog Wrestling channel. Maybe not, I maybe won't go that far, but it will piss me off legitimately. Anyway, she's back. Let me know your thoughts. Am I being too harsh? Am I going overboard here? Or is Charlotte Flair genuinely like one of the worst people in wrestling? I wouldn't even mind, honest to God, I wouldn't even mind if she came back. And I get it. Like, I'm not one of these people that believe that everyone should have a shot. I'm not saying that. I don't think that everyone deserves their title run. Oh, we're all in this together. It's your turn, and then it's your turn, and then it's... No, look, I get it. The best people, the top people, are constantly involved in the title picture because they are the top guys. Like Austin, I wouldn't expect Austin not to be in the title picture, you know, most of the time. Same with Rock, same with Cena, Hogan, whatever. I totally get that. But Charlotte Flair's so fucking overrated. She isn't that good, and it's like... They won't even, she can't even like lose the belt and then, you know, work her way back up. As soon as she loses the belt, she disappears. Every single time, she will win the belt, she'll have her reign, she'll lose the belt. She might then attempt to win it back in one match, and when she loses, disappears again for another 6 months, and it's the same crap over and over again. It's like, unless she's going to be in the title picture, she won't be there. If that's the case, then fucking let her go. Let her fucking go. She ain't going to be in movies. Nobody's going to want her. Honestly, man, if she wasn't the daughter of Ric Flair, she wouldn't even be bloody relevant. So there you go. That's my thoughts on Charlotte Flair. I'll catch you guys in the next one. This absolutely sucks. SmackDown. I knew it was going to be shite. Well, actually, I said it could be pretty good tonight, but I changed my mind. Charlotte Flair sucks, so therefore the show sucked. I don't know. I'll review it tomorrow, but I'm pissed off. Don't like Charlotte Flair. I'm going to end it there, guys, or else I'll say something that I shouldn't say. But yeah, no. Charlotte Flair in the bin.
I listened to that rant and I thought it was necessary to be in this video. Absolutely on the money about Charlotte Flair. Skullduggery also comment and say the fact is what Charlotte does. All she does is she comes back, she wins the belt, she's a boring fucking title reign, she loses it, she disappears, rinse and repeat. And that's exactly what it is. And this belt, man, what is the obsession with just sticking the W on it? Can we not come up with something different? The women's belt back in the day, man, that's where it's peaked. And yeah, to be honest, I was supposed to say looking forward to this match. I meant more as in like we're looking in the distance forward to it, rather than I'm chumming at the bit. Asuka's probably going to lose. Honestly, it's funny, and yeah, the touch on Charlotte Flair looking like 100-year-old plastic bastard. She really does. There's nothing really about that, other than that. If I'm being honest at this point, we then have Michin taking on Bayley in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. AJ Styles is on commentary. Bayley wins, right? And you're thinking, right, of course she was going to win because, you know, Michin's not exactly doing it in the women's division these days. Bayley's, I guess, a bit of a name, a bit of women star power to have in this match. And then this segment gets worse. We've got Scarlett out there. Styles stands up. She hits him with a powder attack, and then Karrion Kross hits him with the cross jacket hold. And then, like, wait, hold on. Why is Karrion Kross even on this roster, folks? The guy is garbage and does nothing for the product, nothing for the company. He's a bum. He's been back nearly a year now, and who gives a fuck? Nobody cares, man. Karrion Kross needs released. Like, he locks this cross jacket on. Who cares? What, is he going to come out next week with cards or a scale? No. Vince McMahon, come on, son. You're great. Get this guy released to fuck. Triple H, get your nose out the pudding. What's Triple H's fetish, by the way, with like strapping these belts onto these wrestlers? Honestly. And it's like, the belt they gave Reigns, like, or was it last week, is pretty much the same belt that they just gave Asuka. So, kind of just takes away from Roman Reigns' undisputed heavyweight WWE Universal Championship, whatever the fuck they call it these days, man. Honestly, I don't know, but Karrion Kross, folks, he needs to get in the bin. I'm sick of looking at him. Anyway, it's time to move on with this show, because by God, it was a tough watch at this point. Baron Corbin makes his way out to the ring. He's taking on Butch, and yeah, what happens here? Butch defeats Baron Corbin, I guess with the help of Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. So those two batter Corbin, but it's just weird. Like, the brand split, how can they hype up a brand split when you've got all these like different people appearing on shows? It's already broke. And the fact that they've come out and said that NXT is no longer developmental, it is being looked at as a third brand, just sums up how wrong that this brand split has went. Jey Uso then comes backstage. We've got him and Paul Heyman discussion, and it's revealed here that he's only going to return to the bloodline if Paul Heyman leaves, refusing to shake the hand of Paul Heyman for like 2 minutes straight. Heyman had his hand out, and he didn't want to date. We then had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn backstage. Were interrupted by Pretty Deadly. In come the Brawling Brutes, in come the OC, in come the LWO, and then in come, what do you call those jobbers? The Street Profits, that's what you call them. The Street Profits come out, and yeah, basically Adam Pearce is then interrupted here by a screaming Kevin Owens as a face, is a fat, cringy rat fuck. And guess what, guys? I didn't go hard enough. I did not go hard enough there. I fucking see as a face, man. He is honestly awful. I'm nothing good. He's cringy as fuck screaming here. And he's just a fat mess. Honestly, I don't know why people like Kevin Owens. It's not even funny. This is fucking embarrassing. It's just a fat guy wailing and screaming on live television. That's all it is. Nothing about it, man. And like, what are they trying to say here? That he's psychotic? He's not psychotic. He's just fat as fuck. That's the bottom line. He just comes across as a retard, a big fat, greasy, redneck, inbred, Canadian Mongoloid. And that's pretty much all I've said about that. What did we have up next? We then have Io Sky taking on Shotzi Blackheart. Is it any real surprise that Io Sky defeats Shotzi Blackheart? Because of course now we're going to get both members of Bailey and Io Sky are going to be in there, so both members in the match, which is going to make for a interesting dynamic. As Wade Barrett said that she's a ray of sunshine, Bailey, and Michael Cole's not really having it. Is he, guys? Baron Corbin is then walking backstage. He then gets absolutely dropped by Cameron Grimes, so pretty much at this point, it just looks like he's getting absolutely buried at this point, which is kind of interesting, I guess. We then have a package about Grayson Waller, basically hyping him up as the future, which... What a damn with Grayson Waller, man. They've called him up, and the guy that was so good on NXT no longer feels that good, if I'm being honest. Grayson Waller feeling like an absolute bomb. We then cut to an interview backstage. We've got Santos Escobar, and he says that it's his time to be the Money in the Bank holder. He's basically pointing on top of a ladder. And it's a weird one, because this is like a ladder for the 90s. It's orange. You know, the sort of ladder that Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, Triple H and The Rock would have used, etc. So, yeah, intriguing. Definitely intriguing here. And then, guess what, guys? It's time for your main event. We have got Jey Uso taking on Austin Theory with Pretty Deadly out there, with interference galore. And you know what? I actually think this is one of the best SmackDown endings in a while. And it takes a lot for me to say that. Because here we actually have just a good match here between Jey Uso and Austin Theory. And you know what? I actually would have liked Jey Uso to have won the US Championship here, but sadly, he's not went and done that, guys. Sadly, he's not. But we'll get to why he's not. Because he basically has Austin Theory beat, but then Pretty Deadly get involved. But then who comes in? Who comes in for the save? It's Jimmy Uso. Super kick to one member of Pretty Deadly. Super kick to another member of Pretty Deadly. Should probably remember their names for the sake of the video, but I actually can never remember their names. But then out comes Solo Sikoa. He goes to hit a massive Samoan spike on Jimmy Uso, but Jey Uso gets up. He then jumps on the arm that Solo Sikoa is going to hit Jimmy Uso with, the Samoan spike with, which I thought was quite interesting. But then he lets go of Jimmy. Solo Sikoa, he turns around to Jey, but then Jimmy goes to hit Solo Sikoa with a massive super kick, but he ducks out the road. It hits Jey Uso in the face. Jimmy Uso then throws Solo Sikoa over the ropes. Well, I say over the ropes, it's a bit of a botch for Solo Sikoa, and it almost just takes away like how good this segment was. I thought there was a really good end to a match here. It reminded you of the Attitude Era, where it's like 100 miles an hour at the end of a match with loads of things happening, right? Solo Sikoa doesn't quite go over the rope, so he bounces off it, and then like he falls under, and then Jimmy jumps over the top rope, lands on top of him, but who then sneaks in the back door? No more than Austin Theory. Austin Theory sneaks in the back door. 1, 2, 3. Austin Theory retains the United States Championship. Not really surprised here that he's retained it, but it's good continuity because you've got Jimmy costing Jey, Solo getting involved, you've got Pretty Deadly out there, and then of course you've got Austin Theory continuing his streak of these wins where it's like, you bastard, you lucky, the jammy bastard heel, because that's exactly what it is. After the match though, Jay's confronting Jimmy saying like, what the fuck was that? What are you doing? What are you playing at? You should have just left me out here to get the job done. Obviously Jimmy's trying to plead his innocence here, but it looks like the Usos are no more at this point, which Heyman did hype up earlier in the night, saying that the Usos are no longer a tag team and you will be going for single gold. Obviously Jimmy wants to be with his brother. Jey Uso leaves the ring. You've got Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman standing there. You do think for a split second that Jey Uso is going to go back with the bloodline, but he doesn't embrace the bloodline, and instead he gets beside them, he looks back at Jimmy, and then he walks off. And then at this point, Paul Heyman grabs his phone and he just turns around and says, "Call Roman Reigns." And Michael Cole's like, "He's calling Roman Reigns, he's calling..." Yeah, Michael, we know how phone calls work, son. So I don't understand what this was all about. Like Michael Cole having to dumb this down for us. We know what the fuck if he's saying call Roman Reigns into a phone, what do we think he's saying, man? Of course he's going to be phoning Roman Reigns. Anyway, you know what? It was a very bloodline heavy episode, but it was refreshing seeing like the bloodline in like such prominent roles in like singles fashion rather than like the diluted tag division without Roman Reigns. So I enjoyed it. Did not enjoy Charlotte Flair coming back though. There was a lot of jobber matches, but you know what? The bloodline stuff really carried this show. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. A 4 out of 10 for SmackDown. Damn, but Charlotte Flair did come back, so you know, maybe a 4 out of 10 is a wee bit too high, but leave your thoughts down below, and until next time, peace.